Alright, I thought I'd take you on a trip out west with me now. We're heading to Croydon from Cairns, which is about, I think it's about 600 kilometres. It's at least 7 or 8 hours. We've got fish on board, we've got some perch in the back. We're heading out to Tagalaka Rangers, Aboriginal community group out there. And we're going to deliver their fish. We're going to check on their system. They've just got electricity connected, and I'm looking forward to seeing how their system's working. We planted it out a couple of months ago, and now they've got electricity. They've got a few local fish in there. We've cycled the system, so it should be ready now for our perch. So looking forward to that. I should just point out too, in the desert, in the background behind me here, that it's usually very, very dry, but we've just had a lot of storms. It's wet season now, and you can see in front of me as I'm driving, you can see how green it is. All right, so it's been crazy wet weather out here in the outback. It happens every year when rains come down. This particular year seems to be a lot wetter. Okay, here we are, Croydon. This is Tagalaka Rangers Aboriginal area, and you can see the greenhouse behind me that we set up. Inside I can hear running water. Seems like it's all working, which is great, and a lot of plants are still growing. All right, I can see straight away that they've got the electricity connected and a slab there. That's going to be a garden shed in the future, and then we'll put solar panels on that as a backup solar system. All right, so if you have a look in the back of the car here, we've got the fish just in a container, just a 100-litre container, and I filled it up probably 50 litres halfway. Of course, the water's been sloshing around the whole way, but interestingly, what I've done is I've just got an air stone in here. If you have a look in there, you can see I've got an aerator that plugs straight into the back of the car, and if I lift this up, you'll see that you won't be able to see the fish, but you can see that all the bubbles. So they've been well oxygenated, and they're all happy. I've got over 100 fish in here. They're all happy and healthy, and made it safe to Croydon. It's a big trip for those fish, and only little fellas, but they made it all here safe, so I'm really happy about that. Okay, so if you're looking back at this tub here as well, you can see I've got a lot of goodies in here. So I'm just going to install a lot of air hose. I've got an air pump in there, 12-volt air pump, and an inverter as well. And we're going to run a bilge pump off that. So that way it's a battery backup system, and in case the power goes out. Tomatoes are growing well, basil's growing well, mint, chives, all looking good. Yeah, alright, we'll put a few in, probably a few more. Yeah, that's better. All seem to be swimming around. How are these guys doing? Can't see, too stirred up. Oh well, that's all right, the water will clear very quickly. It's just a lot of algae because of the nutrient load that we had with the sea salt, I'd say. Eating all the algae in the corner. That's going to clean up the system really quickly. All right, so everything's growing well. This was all planted 2 months ago. We've got the Brazilian spinach, the mint, all sorts of tomatoes. Now, leaves are a little bit yellow because there was no nutrients at all while we're cycling the system. So now we've just added a little bit of iron folate, and also we've added fish, so everything will be working fine. We've also scattered seed. You can probably see the seeds. So we've added all sorts of seeds. What did we add in there, James?
Different sort of tomatoes, I think capsicums, and some cucumbers and passion fruit. Yeah.
And that reminds me too, we put a couple of passion fruit seeds in there. And what we're going to do is add a fence in the middle. Alright, and then we've got our fish in the tank. Now I've just put a little bit of fish food there. They haven't started eating yet because they've been travelling around, but they'll eat that pretty quickly. We just threw it in. And these are our solar panels to go on the roof of the shed, but we can't connect that up just yet. And we've got another 50 Jade Perch in here, which leads us to the other 2 gravel beds and a couple of floating styrofoam beds, floating raft, and the sumps underneath. So it's all working well. So we've added these lines, oxygen lines, air stains. It'll go out the wall there and into the shed. James is looking after all the aquaponics that we've installed. So James is the main man up here. Now what we've done today is we just checked the system. It's all working, operational, it's beautiful. We just added fish. We just put in 120 Jade Perch, and we've put in some air stones, and we've just gone and put it up through the greenhouse. And as you can see beside us here, we've got a cement pad there, and we're going to add a shed. And once we've got the shed in place, then we'll put the pump in there. We'll put a backup power system in there, and then we won't have any issues with power generation. So there'll be solar panels on the shed. So all in all, it's looking good. Everything's working fine. We're just adding another bit of shade cloth here and a door. James is doing all that, and it's a beautiful system. It's the only one in Croydon. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see a 6-month update of the Tagalaka Rangers system, then I suggest you click on this one and you won't be disappointed.